Hello YouTube, and welcome to the first episode of the Wasteland Workbench, which is my series that specializes in Fallout prop making and tutorials. So today we are going to be making the Nuka grenade, which is a very awesome explosive and one of my favorites because it's crafted out of such simple things, and overall it's a pretty cool improvised weapon you can make. So here's what you'll need. You will need a tin can. I actually let mine sit in water for a while so it gets rusted. And you'll also need the top of it, which is the part you pull off. I prefer Campbell's, honestly. You don't. This tutorial only works with a Campbell soup can, so you make sure you have one of those, alright? You will also need 6 inches of red wire. I'm sorry about that. And 4 inches of black. So 6 inches of red, 4 inches of black. A 3.5 inch long PVC pipe. You will need a coat hanger. 6 inches at least of it. I cut off the other half because I was using that on a different Nuka grenade, but you get the point. You'll need wire snips, just like these. They're really helpful. Have a hot glue gun with extra glue sticks with you. A Dremel with a bit that is the same width as your coat hanger. And the all-important masking tape. This is what you'll be writing on. And this will be on the outside of your Nuka grenade. So let's get started. Alright, so the first step you're going to want to do is take your masking tape and your tin can, and this is basically going to be the wrapping part of it, where we are going to rip up the masking tape into thin shreds and just put it on the tin can. It doesn't have to look nice. Again, it's supposed to look improvised. It is Fallout after all, so it doesn't have to really be in any order, but have it so you have about a 1/2 inch or an inch of tape around your tin can. So we're just going to keep wrapping it. And as you can see, you can make this prop relatively simply. When we are just about done with the video, that's when we'll put the writing on here. But for now, we just want to get the tape on first. I find that it helps if you have the junky, ripped up parts on the outside. That way it adds a nice effect to it. So I'm going to wrap this up with some more masking tape, and I'll see you in the next. Alright, so I just finished wrapping this up in masking tape, just to make it ever so Fallout looking. And now we're going to hot glue the PVC pipe inside, and this is going to act as a support for the spoon, and that's the area where the wires will also be kept. So I suggest putting a lot of hot glue in that middle piece there. Make sure it's extra hot, and then put it, as you can see, in the center. See, that wasn't centered right there. There we go. Put it in the center of your tin can, and then we'll move on to the next one. Alright, so now we're going to be prepping the top of the soup can, and as you can see, I've already marked it with Sharpie marker. You're going to want a 1 in the middle, 1 mark, 1 on the indents, and as you can see there, 3-dimensional little punch outs. And I have already ripped off the lid of the soup can. You're going to want to get rid of that. And when it's on the Nuka grenade, you'll see this gold side. So you won't be seeing the logo, you'll just be seeing the gold, which is always nice looking. And I'll actually get my Nuka grenade right now. And So here's the top of the soup can, and here it is on my Nuka grenade. As you can tell, this one's been busted up from Comic-Con, but this one is nice and new. So this is going to be, the rusty one is going to be the better one. This one's going to, might give this one away, might sell it, I don't know. But you're going to want to drill out these 3 holes, as previously said, with the handy dandy Dremel. Now, I prefer getting a drill bit that's pretty much as big as these indents right here, or as big as your coat hanger, either or. Now we're going to drill that. So now that we just marked the top of the soup lid, we're now going to be marking the side of the Nuka grenade. And this doesn't really have to be any exact spot, wherever you feel that it's best, but simply put 1 mark there, just above the masking tape, and 1 below it, and make them just around 2 inches apart. That should be just about good. And as you can see, that's what we did on the other Nuka grenade. 1 above the tape and 1 below it. So now we're going to drill those out along with the soup lid. Alright, so if you see here, we just drilled out the Nuka grenade and the soup lid, and now comes the fun part. We're going to make the spoon. Alright, so now we're going to be making the spoon, and we have, if you see that little black mark on there, we've marked out 6.5 inches. Sorry, but I don't have a metric conversion, so 6.5 inches marked out on there. We're going to take our needle nose pliers. If you have a cutting bit on the back, then you can use that to cut it. Otherwise, use wire cutters or something along that line. Just going to clamp down on it and bend it, which usually weakens up the metal, because after all, it's only coat hanger. So there you go. And we'll just retrieve that. So we've got our coat hanger, 6.5 inches cut out. And first thing you're going to want to do is take your pliers again, and you're just going to want to take just around the width of it, bend it like that so you get a hook shape. This is going to go into the hole on the Nuka grenade just like that. It's going to act as a spoon. So now, so you have a good reference point, we're going to take it like that. Now we're going to make the second bend. So you're going to want to take your Nuka grenade with the, it's jammed in there, but we've got the Nuka grenade and we've got the lid. You're going to want to just rest that on top. It doesn't even have to be glued in. In fact, don't glue it in yet. You're going to want to put it down on there. Then take it like that and simply go on the side. Now that we have that bend down, and there we go. Now we have the second part of the spoon. Now comes the part which really is the most unguided, and this is just where you're simply going to want to inch along, slowly, 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 bending it up. And you're going to want to get a nice circle shape out of it. And what was that? That was my pliers clicking together. And once you get a nice shape, you can toy around with it, but this will do for now. And there you go, there's the spoon, and now we only have a few more steps. Alright, so now this is really starting to come together, and as you can see, I've already put the wires in, but we're getting more of a Nuka grenade shape. And this part's kind of easy, so we're just going to simply take our hole, and you're going to want to put hot glue, just a little dab, on the top of it, and on the inside. Make sure you get some on the inside. That way, you just press the wire through the dab, and look at that. It's glued on in. You can put a little bit on the outside, but you're really going to want to put very little. You don't want it showing, and then we're going to do the same for the red. So just put some hot glue on the inside. Alright, so we just glued in the red wire, and in ahead of time, for time's sake, I put in a coat of blue. Now we're going to take a pen. I'm just going to put on a coat of black. Now, don't worry about the writing. It will come out junky looking, believe me, because of all the ridges on the can. It makes it very tough to write on here, which is why I think a pen is the best option, because your hand won't be steady and your writing won't be all that great looking. Just going to outline it. Nothing too fancy. But there we go. And there you go. You have one completed Nuka grenade. Now, if you compare this to the other one, the other is a bit more nicely built. This one, it's more rusty. The spoon is messed up. The wires are a bit more jagged. I think this one, maybe a Wastelander who didn't have as good of a repair skill or as much knowledge on making weapons, would have made it. Perhaps Sierra Petrov, or because she's one of the ladies who, if you do the Nuka-Cola challenge, she'll give you a Nuka grenade blueprint. So maybe someone like her, who didn't have as much knowledge on explosives and building weapons, made it. And then maybe someone who had higher repair and higher explosives made this, because this one, you know, it's got a nicer spoon, tin can's in a bit better condition, the wires look nicer. This one just looks a lot more junky. And I think that adds a certain appeal, because that's kind of what I was going for. I like to have my props have a little bit more personality to them sometimes, so quite frankly, it really doesn't matter what it looks like in the end, because it's either way an improvised explosive device. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been the first episode of the Wasteland Workbench, and hopefully I can get more tutorials out there for you guys. So on that note, I'll see everybody later. Bye.